Tastes like regret. No. Hello and welcome to another episode of Anything But Authentic, where I make crazy unique food that is anything but authentic. On today's episode, we'll be making what I called a rainbow AMF Jello Shot. And it is to celebrate Pride Month. Yes, it is Pride Month and I'm very excited for it. It's been a long journey for the LGBTQ community and I'm very happy that we're getting to a point where the community is getting more recognized and treated as equal. And in my opinion, love is love is love and it's love. You know, anybody should be able to love anybody. That's my own personal opinion. So yeah, let's get started. I'm pretty sure you guys are all wondering like, what the heck are these jars doing here? So basically what I did last night was that I soaked these Skittles in their respective alcohol and just let it soak overnight. Usually when you let it soak overnight, it tastes a lot better and the flavor just infuses a lot better. But if you don't have too much time, soaking it for around an hour, I believe is good enough. I'll show you what I basically did last night with the red strawberry Skittles. So what I did is basically I add in around 20 Skittles per jar. So around 20, and then I basically just add around half a cup of alcohol into the jar, like so. So now what alcohol should you use? So AMF is done with gin, tequila, vodka, and rum. So I just use my best judgment to kind of pair the alcohol with the appropriate fruit flavors. So what I just add in here is vodka. So this would be strawberry vodka flavor. And what this is orange tequila. It's kind of like a tequila sunrise. And this is lemon gin. I mean, I love gin and a lot of the gin drinks I have tend to have lemon in it. So I feel like this would be an appropriate pair. And then this is green apple rum. So again, like, you know, if you don't like that combination, go ahead and switch it up to whatever you want. Or even if you want, you can mix it up like I did with the grape flavor. So what I did here is basically, again, add in around 20 of these. 20. And what I did is I basically just, instead of filling it with, you know, a alcohol, I did a combination of all of alcohol. So I basically kind of made like a concentrated AMF flavor to put in here. So I basically just add 2 tablespoons of gin in here, along with 2 tablespoons of tequila, 2 tablespoons of vodka, 2 tablespoons of rum, and 2 tablespoons of blue curacao. Like I always say, the world is your oyster, so mix and match however you want. As long as you add around half a cup of alcohol in, along with around 20 Skittles, then you're good. So basically what I did is just kind of mix it around. As you can see, the flavors are already kind of infusing into the alcohol. And then just leave it open overnight. All right, after the Skittles have been soaked with the alcohol overnight or at least an hour, what you wanna do next is basically just drain them because, you know, you obviously don't want to have all this gunk inside your Jello shots. You just want the liquid, right? I mean, like, I don't know about you, but I don't think the random specks of Skittles floating while you're eating your Jello shots is pleasant. So I personally want to take it out, but you know, if you want to try it, the world's your oyster. But basically, yeah, just strain it with a very fine strainer. Just pour it through like so. See that those are all like, you know, the insides of the Skittles. We really don't want that. And then just repeat with the rest of the alcohol. All right, so after draining all of the Skittles out of the soaked alcohol, we're gonna move on to making the gelatin base. So what I have here is a pan that I'm gonna put around 3 cups of water in. This is cold water, by the way. So just pour it all the way in. And to it, I'm gonna add around 6 packets of gelatin powder. And each packet contains around 0.25 ounce. So I hope that gives you a little bit of reference. So just kinda sprinkle it on. In case you're wondering why I'm using this larger size pan, is because when you work with gelatin powder, you kind of want to let it bloom in cold water. Basically, it needs to hydrate. And when you sprinkle it onto something with a larger surface, more of it will get a chance to hydrate. And eventually, we're gonna warm this up anyway. So I don't want to, you know, dirty another large bowl just for the sake of blooming. And now I'm just gonna let this sit for around 5 minutes so that it has time to bloom all the way. And then I'll see you back here in 5 minutes. All right, it's been 5 minutes. So what I'm gonna do now is just put this on a stove. and add around 2 cups of sweet and sour mix, along with 1 cup of Sprite or 7-Up, whichever you can find. And then just heat this on medium to medium low. You don't want to heat it on high because you don't want this to come to a boil. You know what? Let me put this to center. Okay, yeah. So on medium or medium low. And what you want to do is kind of like, just stir it around so the bloom gelatin powder can mix well. And basically what we want to do here is just gently heat it up to the point that the gelatin powder would dissolve, and that's it. We don't want it to come to a boil because when gelatin powder comes to a boil, it will lose the thickening quality, which is not what we want. So it'll probably take a little bit, but you want it to gently heat up. All right, so the mixture has been warmed up and all of the gelatin is dissolved. So what you want to do now, I'm gonna push this aside. Is to take around 1 cup of this gelatin mixture. And then you want to add half a cup of the Skittles soaked alcohol that you soaked overnight. Give it a little mix. And then you're ready to pour the first layer into a mold. So what I have here are these 2-ounce sauce containers. In my experience, these work great for parties because it has a lid, so it's great to store in the fridge. So just gonna take out a bunch of these containers. And what you want to do next is literally just fill these containers up with a thin layer of this mixture. So from my calculation, since we're gonna have 6 layers, and these are around 2 ounces per container. So what we ultimately want is around 0.3 ounce of Jello for each layer, which comes up to around 1.5 teaspoon of Jello mixture for each layer. You do want to leave a little bit of room on the top. I mean, like, it's not a pleasant experience to have things fill to the top. So yeah, just around 1.5 teaspoon per layer is great. So yeah, just patiently pour 1/2 teaspoon per container. I'll see you back here when I've filled all of these up. It will take a while. All right, after filling out each container with around 1.5 teaspoon of the gelatin layer, I got to around 59 containers. So what I want to do now is basically just let this cool in the fridge for around half an hour to an hour before moving on to the next layer. All right, so after around an hour, the gelatin has been set pretty nicely, as you can see. So we're gonna move on to making the next layer. It's basically the same process where we want to add around 1 cup of this gelatin mixture, along with half a cup of alcohol. So since the next layer is blue, so I'm gonna use half a cup of blue carousel. Just, mix it in. Give a little mix. And then just pour around 1.5 teaspoon of this mixture into the next layer. And I'm gonna repeat the same process for the rest of the colors, and I'm gonna see you back here afterward. All right, after around 6 hours, we're finally done. This recipe is not that hard because the steps are very simple, but it's just tedious and long. But before we continue, if you like this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And with that, let's dig in. And Woo! That is strong. It will definitely get you going, but it tastes great though. It's definitely an AMF in a shot. If you're planning on going to any party this month and want to bring something that's a crowd pleaser, this would be a recipe. It looks great, it tastes great, and it will definitely get the party going. Thank you for growing with me, Guber, and hope to see you here next time on Anything But Authentic.